quiet today. The improved package has arrived. We're having it fitted in time for FP1. Have a look at the factory report.
Hey, what's going on guys, aarava here, and welcome back to my F1 2017 Career Mode, episode number 129 today for the Austrian Grand Prix in Season 7. You can see we kick things off here with two brand new parts fitted to the car. Both are reliability upgrades that we purchased at the end of last episode. Speaking about that, if you did miss that, by the way, be sure to go check that one out before you see this one. Azerbaijan Grand Prix uploaded about a week ago there, so you might have missed it. But yeah, two reliability upgrades, which means we have total reliability in theory. 100% of the reliability upgrades on the R&D chart have been purchased now. Obviously, a lot of it done by the team as an AI team when I wasn't with Mercedes before we joined them last season. And then, of course, we finished it off now. So, in theory, 100% reliability. Hopefully, that means Hamilton's not going to be retiring in the next couple of races. And obviously, Bottas, when he hops back into the car, when I leave the team, you know, Mercedes always had that issue with reliability. You know, when I was with Renault, a lot of the time in those first, seasons 2 and 3, Mercedes were constantly retiring. It was just kind of weird to see. So I think the reliability upgrade should help that, but at the same time, we know the game by now, it probably won't, and they'll probably still retire a fair few times, but we'll just have to see. But anyway, we move on then through practice, and then we get hit with a brand new rival, which is finally going to be our actual table rival, Nico Hülkenberg, in the standings, of course. So that's going to be a bit of a harder rival to beat, so that may hinder us a little bit on this challenge, obviously, of the last couple of episodes of trying to get the reputation up to try and aim for a nice, choice of the mid-season contract offers there. Need to try and get the reputation up. At the moment, it looks like we're focusing basically on trying to beat the Ferrari guys, but beating our rival that the game gives us is an important factor into stepping up that reputation level. Even if we're beating the Ferraris, we have to try and also beat Hülkenberg if we want that reputation to keep on climbing. So, something to think about, and it might be a little bit trickier now for these last two episodes before we get to that midway stage of the season, of course, which is going to be the British Grand Prix next episode. But we go through qualifying then. The first flying lap wasn't amazing. A few little mistakes here and there in the opening sector and across the line. At the moment, it's not the fastest. Verstappen is on top at the moment. But we move on to our second flying lap then, and straight away making up for that mistake we made into that hairpin at the end of Sector 1. At the moment, we're down in P8 behind Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Räikkönen, so pretty crucial we get this second flying lap in. It is at the end of the session, so this is our one and only chance to do that, to at least beat the Ferraris, if not Hamilton and Hülkenberg, at least get the two prancing horses in red. So we move through to the end of the lap then, nice and easy through the last corner, chucking it in, not going too wide then on the exit curbing, opening DRS and then across the line, and it's going to be pole position actually, so absolutely smashed that at the end there, and close stuff at the very top end there between especially Verstappen and my teammate Hamilton. Hülkenberg P4, a little bit lacking of some pace actually that I expected from him around Austria. The Renault car definitely light on its chassis weight, so I would have thought it would have gone well around here, but no, we pulled the time out of the bag then, and surprisingly the Red Bulls look a bit more punchy at their, well, quote-unquote home Grand Prix. Obviously Austrian, the Red Bull team, backed by Red Bull, the Austrian drinks company, so doing a good job there for Verstappen, and I'm sure his sponsors will be loving that on the front row of the grid. So we'll see if Red Bull can carry through that pace, because really surprisingly they've really not been featuring too much in any kind of fights, them and Ferrari, for the last good half season. Even at the tail end of last season as well, they kind of dropped off a little bit. So we'll see if Red Bull finally, I don't know, maybe they brought upgrades that I just didn't see in the main menus. Of course, we didn't kind of get told about any developments from Red Bull, so maybe they brought upgrades this race, and so we might see for the first time now Red Bull being a bit of another factor in the race rather than just being me versus my team and the two Renaults. But we'll go to the full grid then, and then we'll get into the Austrian Grand Prix and see how we do.
With that then, let's run through the grid order. It's Mercedes in pole position then, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Hülkenberg, Kimi Räikkönen and Ricciardo, Perez, Ocon, Vettel and Roman Grosjean, Massa, Kvyat, Fernando Alonso and Sainz, Magnussen, Stroll, Stoffel Van Dorn and Pascal Wehrlein. Ericsson and Jolyon Palmer rounds off the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
So here we are on the starting grid where we can't see any of the car apart from that equally silver painted safety car. It's the same as our car, but we look ahead to the race strategy then. All sunny, so thankfully no rain. Thankfully we've had no rain for a while now in the races, which is it's a good thing for me in terms of the performance and trying to beat the Ferrari guys especially and everyone else around us. It's going to be a default 2-stop today, two sets of ultra soft tyres and 1 set of super softs. I think we'll probably stick to that, but we can always change that and we'll see how it goes on the fly. I've been liking the on the fly strategy as of late, just kind of seeing how it goes in the moment. But here we go then to 5 red lights to the Austrian Grand Prix. We're underway. The lights wasting no time at all to get underway, and we had a lot of wheel spin in second gear. We cover off Max Verstappen into turn 1 then, nice and easy under braking then in third gear. On the exit though, little squirm, but we're still ahead in first place. But look at that then, Hamilton gets a really good exit then off the corner of turn 1, and he's on the left hand side of Verstappen, and Hulkenberg makes it 3 wide then. So the German down the inside, Hamilton round the outside, and he's going to make it a 1-2 for Mercedes. Will Hulkenberg get that? So it looks like it might be a bit of a bottle by the Dutchman there in the Red Bull car. He's down to P4. Hulkenberg is up into P3, but it is a 1-2 at the moment for Mercedes. Absolutely awesome stuff there. We kept it clean and we did our job, and Hamilton did a fantastic job there, launched it off the line, managed to get around the outside then of Verstappen, and so now Verstappen is going to have a tricky afternoon down in P4 as we come across the line, and everyone setting fast up the Grand Prix, everyone and their mothers setting fast up the Grand Prix. I think there are 4 different changes of purple there, and the last one being Sergio Perez. So the Force Indy's looking pretty damn nippy at the moment, some slipstream maybe. On lap 3 we are, but Hamilton is right behind us still, and he's keeping us honest for now into the hairpin, a little bit wide there, but you know, just still managing to keep ahead. But as I said, Hamilton is there as well as Hulkenberg, and more so Hulkenberg's looking a bit more dangerous to maybe attack Hamilton than Hamilton is to attack me. And actually Hamilton there has gone deep into the exit of the hairpin as we enter sector 2. He's got DRS off me actually, so he's still within 1 second of me, so still keeping me honest on this lap. But Hulkenberg is a lot more punchy than he is, and he goes down the inside there. Weird onboard shot there, but Hamilton does enough to squeeze out the German, and so for now Hulkenberg will have to stay put in P3. We can see Verstappen right up his chuff there, and actually the entire top 9 I want to say looking pretty damn close actually, so good to see. But Hulkenberg now around the outside at the end of sector 1. Hamilton brushes him off a little bit wide, but Hulkenberg says no, gets the elbows out, DRS open. Hamilton does not have DRS on the left hand side, you can see, and so Nico is up into P2 then, and so the German, my main rival in the championship, can now try and size up a move on me if he's got the pace to try and catch me. So we'll see as we move on later into the Grand Prix, into turn 1 of lap number 9. So we're not too far off our first pit stop, but we've got more things to worry about as Hulkenberg definitely really has the bit between his teeth to try and take this race lead now, and he's already overtaken my teammate. Can he overtake another Mercedes car this afternoon as we go into the brake zone then in the first sector? The hairpin lock up on the right tyre, unintentionally go a little bit deep. Actually that helps us to defend from Hulkenberg, but Hulkenberg still managed to keep it around the outside there, just like on the move with Hamilton. He managed to find the space and get to the elbows out somewhat to try and make that move, but eventually we do get the pace and we climb up with the gears then on that back straight to keep it in P1, and we do a bit of defensive work there, move back to the racing line as I'm allowed to do for the next brake zone there, and kept him at bay. And now we move on to the next lap in the same place now, losing some time on the exit for sure on the traction. Hulkenberg actually, as I look back behind me, I've mistakenly gone on the grass a little bit. Of course it's not a straight line, it's a bit of a kink kind of straight towards the hairpin then, so a little bit of a mistake there, but into the hairpin now again, now purposely going deep in second gear there and managing to cut Hulkenberg's racing line off, and he has to give up the position in terms of he can't make it around the outside there because he would have had to driven off the road to make the overtake work. And then to the next corner again, just keeping it nice and calm on the racing line and just parking the car where we need to strategically to keep it ahead of P1. But we do say box this lap to our engineer, and we are going to come in now for a set of ultra soft tyres, and I would expect Hulkenberg to come in as well with me. We've seen the Renaults many times before. They have a lot of tyre wear compared to the other teams, even though I did so many upgrades when I was with Renault. If you remember back to season 2 and 3, I definitely did like at least 2 minimum upgrades on the tyre wear, and yet they've really never improved that much. But Hulkenberg actually opts to stay out, looks like, so we're going to get hopefully an undercut on the German there. So I don't know, maybe I'm going to be proved wrong. We'll see, but we're definitely committing to the 2-stop then, because we're going on to a set of ultra soft tyres. So no going back from here, really. We just have to put the pedal down, and if these guys are trying a 1-stop, which definitely is a possibility, we've seen it in the past, then we're going to have to, you know, take solace in the fact we did have at least 2/10 that was over our next best, Max Verstappen, in qualifying, so we should have, hopefully, the pace to come back in this with the fresher tyres. And obviously, in seasons gone by, the Mercedes guys, a la Valtteri Bottas, have made a 2-stop work very well around Austria. So we're going to have to hope for the same. But I don't know. We'll just have to kind of see how it pans out. But into the hairpin. Oh, that's a bad mistake there. As we just obviously exit the pits with cold tyres and just misjudging the braking power I have with those cold tyres, and Ocon is able to just nip down the inside. So we were a little bit twitchy on my steering wheel, just a little bit upset and a bit annoyed with myself that we made that mistake. So having to get my head back into gear and try and make this re-overtake move to try and get back up into what will be P12 here on Esteban Ocon then in the Force India, who's yet to stop in this Grand Prix. So his tyre wear must be pretty bad as we get very close to his gearbox there. And just what I was talking about there, just lunged in on the left-hander and nearly creamed him in the rear basically. So just showing the difference of tyre wear level. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping everyone's going to have that level of tyre wear where we're just able to cruise back up to them with the fresh rubber we have on this. So now we move on to lap 12, then closing up to Van Dorn, a little bit skatish into that corner as I was quite eager to close up to his rear end here, but I think we're going to have to wait maybe till the main straight. As you can see through the left hander getting hit with a tiny bit of dirty, a little bit off camber on that corner, then chucking it into 5th gear, letting the car roll through, get the power down as early as we can, stamp on the throttle, and then we'll really close up there on the McLaren Honda, who's really yet to see any sort of upgrades in this career mode 7 seasons in. And you can see there the issues I'm having though at the moment, so that's going to be the main worry. Traffic is going to be the main worry of this, because I've already lost a little bit of time to Ocon, definitely lost a little bit of time to Van Dorn there, because I definitely could have taken that right-hander a lot faster than I did and had to kind of lift off and brake check myself to not slam into the back of Van Dorn. Eventually we do get into turn 1, but you can see what I'm talking about. That's really the only issue there. Losing a little bit of time here and there. You know, it may not seem like a lot of time to lose, but it is going to all add up eventually as we get on to the end of this Grand Prix. So now we move on to that 14 through turn 1, taking the fast half of the Grand Prix. And look at this, just on cue, Hulkenberg comes out on soft tyres, so he's going to be on a 1-stop then. Hulkenberg is, I think so, on the soft tyres. I mean, I would assume so, but we'll see. Definitely is still possible for him to do a 2-stop here today. As we go into the hairpin, then we have got ahead of him, so that was quite close, and you can see the undercut actually was a little bit iffy due to the traffic we hit before. And so now we're on our merry way, trying to catch up to Felipe Massa then. But Hulkenberg on softs, Massa on, I think Massa started on softs, so he's still going on lap 14. So if Hulkenberg was to do that, he would go on to lap 24, 28. So I don't know, Hulkenberg still could be on for a 2-stop, to be honest, because that's quite a long way to take soft tyres. Because I think in the past, in other seasons, I would say people like Verstappen, where the Red Bull AI have definitely taken tyres a lot longer than I ever expected. They've gone until about lap 16, lap 17 in Ultrasoft. So definitely the Renault guys taking a bit of a gamble there on that for sure. But now we are closing up to Felipe Massa now. We're going to try and make a move into turn 1, and hopefully going to be a lot like what we did previously on the McLaren cars. And down the inside we've gone into turn 1, and it's a pretty simple move. I would suspect also Hulkenberg is going to be pretty fast on the back of Massa there, but we're up into P1 now as everyone's made their first pit stop at least. And so now we just try and do the job on these tyres to try and extend the gap as much as we can. And so now we're going to move later on into the Grand Prix. Not too much action going on, unfortunately, to show you. And we're on to lap 21 now. And we're going to be coming to the pits as we skate into the pits, actually. Pushing as hard as ever, of course, to try and make this 2-stop work. And so we're going to be in for a set of super soft tyres. And it looks like most people around us are on soft, so we're going to be able to have that pace advantage. Of course, they've been on those soft tyres for quite a while there. But on the top left, it was Hamilton in P2 and Perez in P3. So actually, what I didn't really see was, because I was doing a decent enough job to actually keep ahead of Hulkenberg, and pretty much the gap you saw when I overtook Massa, when Hulkenberg was right behind Massa, that gap pretty much stayed. So I never really saw what actually happened, but Hulkenberg's dropped back in this race. So I don't know if he hit any kind of mechanical issues or anything like that, and maybe, I don't know if they're resolved or not, but I didn't really see what occurred with him. So we've ended up behind his teammate Julian Palmer now in P8. Palmer on super softs as well. So Palmer surprisingly is actually on a 2-stop there. So I don't know, maybe Hulkenberg just did convert to an early 2-stop then, because his teammate's on one, and it's very uncommon for the AI to go on a split strategy actually. So yeah, odd one there. But anyway, Palmer at the moment making some overtakes, and he's ahead of Alonso now. So we have to get through Fernando first as we enter lap 23, and so we're a little bit far back there. But in standing mixture down the inside, even with Alonso with DRS, we skate and drift into turn 1 and make a very nice pass there, and a pretty crucial one. We had to get him out of the way fast, because obviously McLaren isn't that quick. We need to catch up to this fast Renault, and we need to try and overtake Palmer as fast as we can, because the next 2 cars up the road are the 2 Ferraris. Of course, that's what I've been saying all along, is that's the main goal right now for me. I think it looks like that's the best chance of us getting a mid-contract offer is Ferrari, and so we need to try and beat them. At the moment, going purple in the first sector then, and through the hairpin, trying to get the best exit we can. We're in lean mix at the moment, trying to get the power down, then we switch it to rich mix once we got the traction there, and so DRS open, just getting in the slipstream as much as we can now, and going to pull out late down the inside. We'll go of our fellow Brit, lock up on the front right side there, going to open up the steering wheel though, squeeze him out, and he will tuck in behind us, and we're up into P6, and now we can try and chase after Sebastian Vettel, who in turn is chasing after his teammate Kimi Raikkonen. But good moves there from both on Alonso and Palmer, and now let's try and see if we can make some equally good moves on Sebastian Vettel and Raikkonen as we close up to Vettel, kind of skating into the hairpin at the end of sector 1, opening DRS. Rich mix flowing but a bit too far back then, you can clearly see on Vettel, so we're going to have to try and close up in sector 2. He's on soft tire, so we should be able to close up to him, just like we kind of did maybe on Ocon or the previous other cars in this Grand Prix. But the dirty air is going to be a factor, and of course the Ferrari car definitely has a little bit more downforce than those other cars, so they're gonna pull through. But you can see I'm catching up to Vettel, just about sticking with him, but he's catching Raikkonen a lot faster than I'm catching him. So I'm hoping the two Ferraris are going to fight enough where I can maybe pull a bit of a Wily or Fox move and overtake both of them at the same time, as we just lose a bit of traction there on the exit of the last corner. Getting a bit too excited, so I really want to overtake these two, and I think we should be able to make this move maybe potentially in the next lap as we close up into turn 1 though, and Vettel is going to try and overtake Raikkonen at the same time. Up into rich mix then, where is Vettel going to go? He goes to the left, I'm going to go to the right at the last minute. We put a tyre on the grass and we actually have a high speed wobble at 187 miles per hour down the inside of both Ferrari cars, and that's going to be a fantastic double overtake as the two Ferraris go side by side on the exit of the hairpin. But that was an insane catch. I don't know if you quite realised, guys, how close that was to me slamming that car into the barrier on the right hand side there. That was one tyre on the grass. I'd already had to lift off a little bit just not to not lop off my nose on the gearbox of Sebastian Vettel, because I had to lift out of that a little bit because I was so close to Vettel, as Vettel I think lifted off to try and overtake Raikkonen and swoop to the left. As I swooped to the right, I put a tyre on the grass, and that was so close to losing the entire rear end. That was definitely a heart moment for me as I was driving in the moment there. So nice save, and we managed to finish it off with the double overtake on the Ferrari cars. And there you saw just us overtaking Berline pretty easily with a blue flag situation. And as much as I pushed then for the last couple laps of this Grand Prix, the guys doing a one-stop, Verstappen, Perez and Hamilton, just had way too much pace on those soft tires for me to do anything. So unfortunately, I kind of doomed myself, and so we're going to finish up in P4. At the end of the day though, we still beat Hülkenberg, still beat the two Ferraris, so all in all, pretty successful day actually in terms of the championship and the rivalry in terms of reputation levels. But fair play, Hamilton pulls through the one stop that I probably should have attempted, but I committed very early to the default that my engineer suggested to me. So you can't get everything completely right, and obviously we've had a string of very, very good results in the last couple of episodes, so it was probably time for us to mess up a little bit maybe on the strategy. But yeah, Hamilton still pulls the job through, and so it's another win for Mercedes this season. Perez does a good job in second place, and Verstappen, fair play, after a mistake at the start of this Grand Prix, managed to pull through a podium for his team at their home Grand Prix. But as I said, we're still ahead of Hülkenberg, still ahead of both Ferraris, so can't complain too much. We do extend the gap in the Drivers' Championship, and we do extend the lead in the Constructors. Actually, funnily enough, Hamilton and Palmer on the exact same points. The difference in the Constructors from Mercedes to Renault is the difference between me and Hülkenberg in the Drivers' Championship. But you can see we beat Hülkenberg in the rivalry, and we get a green boost to the Ferrari reputation. We actually go down in other teams' reputation levels, but Ferrari, we're all green. So it looks like we are committing to hopefully try and get a Ferrari offer next episode pretty much, actually. So we're here. We're basically there. Next episode is the midway through the season. So this time next episode, we could be looking at some driver contracts, and we could be moving away from the silver arrows finally. But guys, if you did enjoy this episode, smash the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you are new around here, do get subscribed for weekly F1 content. I've been Aarava. Hope you enjoyed today. I'll see you guys next time.